We're talking with State Representative Regina Huff this morning. She represents the 82nd District in Kentucky, which includes Whitley and Laurel counties. Representative Huff, thank you for calling into our Forcht broadcasting stations this morning, and we hope you and your family are staying safe and well.
Thank you. We are. We are adhering to the CDC guidelines and doing well.
You are also the chair of the House Education Committee, and in early March, a Kentucky budget was passed for 1 year. Can you talk about the budget and specifically the education parts of the budget as it relates to this very special 1 year budget in Kentucky?
Yes. What we did essentially with this budget, first of all, we crafted this House budget that gave us the forecast from December of last year, which was really had a lot of good components in it that I was very proud of and very pleased with that we sent to the Senate. At that time, the Senate had already got a taste of what COVID-19 was going to do to us as a state. I don't think we had any idea when we crafted our first budget in the House. So they used the forecasts that were the worst-case scenario, and they sent it back to us. Well, it was still something that we couldn't accept. They had removed a lot of the teacher components within that. It just wasn't friendly to us as a caucus. So what we did was we went back to the drawing board with them with the Free Conference Committee, and it essentially has all the components of the last budget. Seek funding that per pupil remains the same, transportation remains the same, all the systems remain the same. So it's essentially just a duplicate. It just mirrors the last 2018 budget.
What parts of the budget relate specifically to public school teachers? I know there was a large amount of money, $61.7 million, that you had in your statement said if it's not used in 2021 can be carried over to 2022. Explain what that means and what the commitment to public teachers was a part of the budget.
I think are you speaking of the teacher retirement?
The teacher retirement fund, yes.
Well, what we did with the teacher retirement that was totally different from the Senate was we, with the Free Conference Committee met, was we fully funded the pension above the ARC, which is above our requirements, and we also ensured that teachers that are retired, their insurance would be paid for 1 year within this budget. And that was two components that were very important to educators across the state, and it was our responsibility to do those.
Yes. Several days ago, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear did announce and ask that superintendents close the school systems for the rest of the year so students will not be coming back to school. You're a retired teacher yourself. I would imagine that gives you a different perspective from being chair of the House Education Committee. Do you agree with the decision? And from a teacher's perspective, what does that mean, students not coming back to school in 2020, or at least this last semester?
You know, to me, it's very concerning. School is so much more than just education for especially rural Kentucky children and across the Commonwealth. And so it's concerning they're not going to have that environment 6.5 to 7 hours a day, 5 days a week. And then now with the summer, that's going to go on further. So we lose kind of touch with some kids. And also, one-on-one instruction is a lot different than what has been implemented. However, I will say that I have just been amazed at what the teachers across the Commonwealth, their creativity, the way they are reaching out to students. My daughter is a special education teacher at the middle grade level, and she has really worked hard at creating Google Classrooms. I've watched Zoom programs where their teachers are reaching out. So they have really stepped up and been creative and really tried to stay in touch with their students. But probably the most heart-wrenching thing for me right now as it comes up to the end of the year are the seniors, those that have lost their last year of sport, graduation, milestones, and once-in-a-lifetime prom. So I think that's concerning. But in order to adhere to the CDC guidelines and things, I think that, we have to be proactive against this virus. But I do hope that we will, look for opening up Kentucky as soon as possible.
When it comes to opening back up businesses in Kentucky, what are your thoughts and feelings about should we do this sooner than later? Should we go by the recommendations of the CDC? What are your thoughts and perspective as a legislator on when Kentucky should be opening back up for business, opening small businesses back up?
I'm really concerned about the small businesses, and I think that should probably happen as soon as possible. If we are doing the essentials, getting services there, why can't we just adhere to the guidelines, masks and gloves, and get back to Main Street, Kentucky, and support those businesses and get those people back to work, because they are operating day to day usually, so they don't have a strong resources revenue that's sitting there that can sustain them. So I think as soon as we can get back open for business, and I don't understand why we can't gradually go in and start doing those things right now. Your small businesses, as long as you have the gloves and adhere to the guidelines and making sure there's one or two or three or four within the building.
How do you feel about, obviously, COVID-19 and the coronavirus concerns has completely changed the way that we have done business in Kentucky over the past couple of months? What do you think, again, from a legislator's point of view, the economic impact of this will be to Kentucky?
Well, that's the part when we were doing the budget. There is no way to forecast, but I think it will be substantial, and I think it will be quite a while before we will be able to recover from this virus, because it's been such an extreme fight against it that it's just closed us down to a point where I never imagined, and I don't know how small businesses will be able to survive if we do this much longer or can be sustained. So it's concerning to me. I think it's going to have a long-term ripple effect, and of course we're going to try to do all we can as legislators to support, but we don't know what our revenue as a state's going to look like. We don't know what the federal help will look like, so it's just really quite contentious and concerning.
The Kentucky General Assembly is not in session right now. Do you expect, Representative Huff, a special session later this year for you all to come back together to maybe revisit the economic impact of COVID-19 in Kentucky?
That just depends all on the governor. He's the only one that can call an extraordinary session. I don't foresee that, simply because I don't know when he will be, wanting us to even gather as a group, because his timeline seems to be on out into the year. We took care of business. We made COVID-19 a priority. As far as we had a bill that addressed businesses, that addressed the school systems, and so they would have an idea of what a sketchy idea at best, but what their budget could look like. So we took care of a lot of that within this session. We also had a bill that we brought forth with businesses throughout the state that was sort of a reopening of Kentucky. It wasn't flipping a switch and starting right now, but it gave businesses sort of a compass as to what it might look like and when we could be opening. And chiropractors were one of the only ones that within other states that were open that the governor chose to close, so that had them reopening. It was just a bill that sort of hopeful, if nothing else, and it gave them a basic guideline. Of course, we sent that to the Senate in the last day, and they chose not to take that bill up for a vote. So that died on the floor, but it was something that I thought that we needed, that was important going forward.
Representative Regina Huff, Chair of the House Education Committee, thank you for calling into our stations this morning, and you stay safe and well and healthy.
My pleasure, and you and your family and your listeners stay safe as well.
Thank you.